Let's see if this worked. I hope it did, because if not, it's going to seem weird. Greetings. My name is Brian. Welcome to KillCo Whiskey Musings. Day 8. Day 8? Day 8. I wasn't sure for a second, but here we are. Once again. I'm not going to set a timer, but we're going to make 30 minutes. As I said, 30 minutes for one of these every day is about all I can handle, except for Fridays and Sundays, which I can. And yesterday's was a little longer because I wanted to lead up to the next person who I knew was streaming. It looks like this did work. Great. Remember how I kept having the streams being weird, starting and stopping? Apparently I had two little options I just had to flick on, and that was it. How many years have I been streaming stuff? Oh, who knows? Doesn't really matter anymore. I see names. Five Fingers, hello. Sugar Kitty Meow. Meow. And Zenbu, hello. Feel like I just saw you a little while ago. Strange that. I've only yet today early going into the whiskey, pouring it in the glass now. Oh, well, hello. Immediately thoughts are bourbon or rye. Malted American. I don't know anymore. I didn't do it. But I will show you what I see. Music first. Always forget music. I have it open and ready to go. Just forget to turn it on. Let me know if you can hear it. It's being quiet again. There it is. Negative 40 decibels. I think that's what that is. Let us zen. Here we go into the nosing experience. Look at that. Is that bourbon? Is that rye? Is that a malted American? Who knows? But immediately the thoughts are along the rise of those three. Along the lines of those three. Fine. It looks glorious. This is again a color I prefer in most of my American whiskey products. As far as the proof. Oh, there we go. It's at least 50% in all likelihood. The legs are moving real slow. The white balance looks better today. Well, I don't remember if it worked the same as yesterday, or it's because I turned a little light on over here. See how the shadow shows up when I do that? I'm trying to keep things professional. But again, initial thoughts are bourbon, rye, American single malt, because I have to start adding that in there since Dave 1 bamboozled me. Let's go in for the nose, shall we? Yes, good. Oh. I thought of rye toast, brown sugar. Huh. Slight bit of cinnamon. Leaning towards the rye at this point. It does not smell like an initial bourbon. Unless it's a high rye bourbon, and then what the hell? Yeah, this is giving me very, very big rye vibes. Why? I can't talk today. Hello. How are you? Ooh. Oh, that's what I forgot to do. I forgot to shave. It's always something. Anyhow. Rye is what we're saying. A good rye. What's the giveaway here? What is the... Is it... There's a slight green note. I don't want to say eucalyptus. Well, I'm going to say eucalyptus, but I don't think that's quite right. Also, or I forget, which I do a lot. Yay! I think most of you have done that already. If you're here, you probably did it when you got here. That is the best way to do it. If you see the stream show up, just hopefully you will like it, but you know. I believe there's a slight black licorice note. Yeah. I can do this for a while, by the way. Just keep nosing this thing. And I will, because I still have a few minutes, 10 minutes left of the initial thoughts. And then 15 more minutes after that to discuss what it is. And again, hopefully, that has been posted today. We were here a few nights ago. Was that day 2 or 3? I don't remember. There was one day where it wasn't posted. It was probably over the weekend. So 2 or 3. Big, like soft ginger snap cookie vibes. Little gingerbread cookies. Oh man. 'Tis the season to be eating a lot of sweets for no good reason. Fa la 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 la. If this isn't a rye and it's some kind of American malt, I'm gonna be annoyed. Just like day 1. I'm getting that feeling again where there's something about this one that's familiar, but it's something very... Hello. Ah yes, of course, the loud scary noise. Appreciate that, Zenbu. Oh! Pizza for lunch, leftover supper, every day it's pizza. That's right. Live, laugh, Pizza John. I ate some of it when I got home. I still have 4 pieces left. Oops. You're lucky you have more than one person around. Here, eat the pizza. I'm worried it's going to get all gross and not fun to eat. Alright, so we're leaning into it being a rye. And the proof probably around 50-something. We'll say 55. Why not? Is that just a shot in the dark? Of course it is. That's how this works. A lot of it is just guessing. Some people are very good at guessing. I am not. But there are some tells that I'm familiar with, at the very least. Okay, on to the taste, the palate, the drinking. Everyone's favorite part. Yep, that's a rye. If not, I've been bamboozled. What? Immediately lighten up my mouth with spice. Cinnamon, pepper. It's not too prickly though. I didn't get the burn. Feel the burn. I sometimes get it when I drink whiskey like that. But on the palate, it was like a firework. A spicy firework. That's a thing, officially. Kind of numbed my tongue a little. Or at least, attacked it somewhat. Now we're going to hold it on the palate as we do. As I do. Also, if you have a drink in your glass, let me know what it is. Doesn't matter what it is. Oh, good. I do have water next to me. As soon as I said that, do I have water? Yes, good. Whew. That was close. Two things came to mind. One, I thought this was Whistle Pig for a second, and another, I thought, okay, it might be MGP as well. Ooh, there's a slight green note. Is that celery or bamboo? Weird. If anyone's wondering how my tasting stuff goes, it is me trying to grab a fish out of the stream of consciousness that is happening when I'm drinking or nosing the whiskey. The fish being a note. In that case, it was green celery bamboo. If that makes any sense to you, good. Doesn't make much sense to me. I want to get more into the spiciness of it, though. Because it's there, it's just a lot. Oh, if this is Whistle Pig, that'll be funny. I haven't had much Whistle Pig. I've had a little bit, but it's been a while. I don't know the last time I had an MGP rye, come to think of it. But this doesn't have all the tells that I would think of. If there was an MGP rye, I'd think of more heavy on the black licorice, or at the very least, eucalyptus. This one barely has that. Like, I could be fooling myself that there's black licorice in here. Cinnamon latte. I'm just getting spice, though. There's no real sweetness to it. And there's a prominent oak forwardness, or a char note that is what is on display. As far as sweetness, there's barely any. There's a little thread of maybe vanilla or just sugar that's in there, but other than that, it's very punchy rye. Hello, rye. Sipping along with Kings County Empire rye. If that's what this is, that'll also be funny. Oof. Yeah, it's mostly spice. I think this has some... Is that nutmeg? Perplexing. Especially confusing since it's so spicy. Trying to think of other good words here. Is there such a thing as cinnamon butter? Or am I just thinking about butter that's on a cinnamon roll? Spice. The texture's okay. And then it gets dry. And for whatever reason, when it starts to get dry, the spices get kicked up a bit. So if you think about it as having too much pepper on something, just... Yeah, that's what I'm probably thinking of. Maybe rye toast with cinnamon and butter on it. Butter and cinnamon. Doesn't matter which way you do that. I mean, it kind of does, but it... Ugh. An assault on the palate is what it is, as far as the spices, and it's not too prickly. Prickly usually comes from the alcohol, I'd like to think, for me. But this one just bursts, and then it starts to get dry, which brings back the spiciness after that, and then it mellows out. And it does leave kind of a dry feeling. Not like all the moisture's been sucked out of my tongue, but almost as if it was a... was it a grade? A low grade of sandpaper? Sandpaper? Yeah, sandpaper. Kind of feeling on my tongue. I don't know much about woodcraft, for the record. I've used sandpaper, and I know there are gradients of it, I think. That's it. That's all I remember. Oop. Excuse me. Yeah. For someone who loves rye, this would probably be a kicker. And it's starting to mellow out now after 4 or 5 sips. It's finally starting to mellow out a little bit. It's still obviously spiciness. Of course, as I said, cinnamon. No real brown sugar. I'm not getting sweetness that I would assume goes with that. So it's more cinnamon, nutmeg, pepper, white pepper. I'm not sure what the difference is exactly, but that's the thought. I feel like there's an herb I'm thinking of as well. The two that popped into my mind were basil, and rosemary, but those don't seem like they click. Those are usually pretty distinct. But there's something green about this that is perplexing. Usually that leans into eucalyptus, but I don't get eucalyptus either. With that, we've hit the... No dill, either. At least I don't think so. I like pickles, so... I like to think that's one that I notice. Now that you said it, I'm questioning everything. Possibly. There's something right in the middle of this that isn't spicy, but it's a weird green note. Anyhow, it's been 15 minutes. We gotta figure out what this is. Thoughts of the moment are it's some kind of rye. My stab in the dark. God damn it. My stab in the dark has been thinking it is 55%. It is very spicy. My other guesses are Whistle Pig or MGP rye. Again, this is all just... is it this, or this? Who knows? I don't. That's the wrong one. Let's see if it's actually been posted today. Yeah, it has. Good. Whew. 3, 2, 1, spoiler. What? Are you serious? It's not a rye. Damn it. However, hang on. I think I know where the spiciness is coming from now. Boop. Question everything now. Hello. Okay, messages on my phone. I could have also convinced myself it was rye, but it isn't. It is extremely spicy, but why? Explain. Let's see here. What is this picture? Oh, it's an old one. All right. Green? Is this a malt? No, this is bourbon. Tell me more. Show me the mash bill, damn you. I'm trying to read little stuff here. This is batch, date. Is there a back to it? No, it doesn't look that way. Well, what? No, I wasn't. I want to say at least I was close on the percentages. No, I did say 50 something initially, but decided to just guess at 55. So this is an Ironroot, Promethean. I've never had Promethean. I've had Ironroot, and it's an older bottling. We're talking 2016. 103 proof, so 51.5. And it just says distilled from grain in Deadston, Texas. But what was the grain? What was the mash bill? I need to know. This does explain some of the spiciness because of Texas being what it is. Barrel impact is pretty high, as I understand it. So I guess because it's not a rye, that's what it is. This is batch number 1016. The Licorice Brothers. Maybe I just should have said I got licorice on there. I did say black licorice, but I didn't get Licorice Brothers. So, and if that's a taste, an actual tasting note, that's going to be real weird. Who has done this? Oh, of course. So 1, 2... Oh, I know these channels officially. So it looks like Whiskey Vault did one years ago. That was in the original Vault, for heck's sake. For Pete's sake. Darn it. Heck. Shoot. Whiskey Vault, Scotch Test Dummies, and the Whiskey Dictionary have done this one. But I have never had an Ironroot Promethean, which would explain why the only thing I could say it was like is a rye. But I really want to know the mash bill. Because if it's the high rye mash bill, I'll be happy. If it isn't, I will not be happy. I'll be perturbed. Miffed, even. Fortunately, it doesn't say. It does say bourbon. So again, that's the only clue I have. That's 51% corn at the very least. Unless they lie. Probably have this over here so I can look at your pretty face and hello. It also doesn't tell me what the meaning of Promethean means, but I've heard of this bottle. So what we're going to do is we're going to do like 5 seconds of research. Google is your friend if you're ever curious about something. Ironroot. Hopefully this will bring me right to their website. Yes, it does. Love it. Let's see. Ah. Oh, I forgot. The Licorice Brothers do wild stuff with their corn varieties. So that would explain some of it. I still don't see the actual, like, what the mash bill is. But I'll tell you what their nose, the notes are that they have. The nose, they say tobacco and smoked figs. Taste candied prunes drizzled with dark chocolate with a dusting of cayenne powder. That little spiciness thing, sure, I haven't had cayenne powder in a while, but this stuff is spicy. No doubt about it. And what it says for corn, so it's grains, red flint corn, non-GMO yellow corn, and rye. So there is rye in there. So I win. End of discussion. Ugh. What else? Promethean is the creative rebel in our portfolio. Yes. Promethean stole fire from the Olympus and gave it to man. The bourbon is perfect as a rainy day dram or the key ingredient in your Manhattan. Manhattans are made with rye whiskey, by the way. Hum. Hum, hum, hum. I don't want this to be a theme where I have to lean into what the heck this is made out of. Oh, did they change the proof? Oh, so these tasting modes might not even be right. Changed the bottle too, but I don't know why. I know why that is. I want it to tell me the mash bill, but it's not telling me what it is. It is just going, you can find, no wait. No, they didn't change the proof. Something is amiss. I am perturbed. That's alright. At least there's rye in it. Yeah, stealing fire from the gods. Yes, exactly. And this is a spicy mofo. I have absolutely no clue what red flint corn would do to a bourbon. At all. I know what rye does to a bourbon. But red flint corn, no idea. Apparently makes it very spicy. This also explains the color. Because Texas. I can see the cayenne powder now. Absolutely. Prunes and dark chocolate. Not for me. It says tobacco, but if this is a tobacco nose, I feel like it's a very specific kind of tobacco. And since I don't tobacco at all, there's no way for me to know that one. Tobacco to me is the horrible stench that is cigarettes. So that's the only real. It's that or cigars, and I can only mildly tolerate being around cigars better. I do not tolerate being around cigarettes if I can avoid it. It's again another curveball. I was so certain this was a rye, but now I'm just curious about what the mash bill is, because if it's a high rye mash bill, cool. But I feel like they probably they had to at least do. Well, I don't know what the rules are here, because when I think it has to be at least 51% corn, is there a specification to it being 51% yellow corn? Not that I know of. So it could be half and half for the corn, and then the rest could be rye. And if that's the case, that would be a very high rye bourbon at 49%. But again, it doesn't tell me what the mash bill is. And if you're unaware, the mash bill is what the grain quantities are when they first begin to make the whiskey. It is fairly important in the long run, but so is the barrel impact. But again, it's what you're making the spirit with initially. That spirit goes into the barrel, and that barrel impacts, after being aged, impacts the whiskey as far as color go, and also imparting other lovely flavors. Yeah, because again, it's not my default is 51% corn. I think yellow corn, of course, but when it's Ironroot, they change up the rules a little, because yes, it is 51% corn, but it doesn't say specifically what kind of corn it has to be. The assumption is it's just regular yellow corn, but these guys are messing around with all kinds of corn varietals, which makes it much more intriguing and misleading in this case. Plus, I haven't had any Ironroot like this ever. Again, I've heard of the Prometheus. I've never had it, and it is a spicy mofo, for certain. Any rye drinker would like this, and I'm very happy that they do say, or the key ingredients in your Manhattan, because I know what a Manhattan is made of. And generally speaking, it's with a rye whiskey. So the fact that they said that just makes me go, okay, this is why I was leading into it being a rye. They're literally saying it's a rye replacement for a cocktail. That's all I got with that. Would I? I'm not gonna rate it or anything. I don't do that because it just then I have to do that every time, and that sounds unpleasant. As far as an interesting pour, yes, it totally fooled me. For good reason. Is it a bottle I would buy? No. I don't know how much it is, for one thing, but also I prefer sweeter, comfortable bourbons. I was having a conversation just earlier today saying how I prefer sweeter bourbons that are more like creamy. They are similar to things like desserts, creamy desserts with like caramel or chocolate or vanilla, all those. And by creamy, I mean actual creamy type cream, whipped cream specifically. Tiramisu, cannolis. Why do I always forget the one that I'm so common? That's the most common one I can think of. Hold on. Creme brulee. Oh, it took a minute. That kind of thing. And I like to... My bourbons tend to be the ones that are similar to that, or at least very sweet and friendly and approachable and easy to sip and comfortable. While this one is a little bitey and fights you a bit for every sip. It's mellowed out a little bit, but still there. It's still fiery, if you will. Promethea. Interesting dram. I'd say if you can try it, you see it at a bar, give it a try. But as far as me buying a bottle of it, no. Good. That sounds like it would be a different bottling. But also because it would say here, it only says for the grains, red flint corn, non-GMO yellow corn, and rye. The purple corn, bloody butcher corn aren't there. So I know of ones like that, but again, I'd have to do a little more looking into it. But that's it. 30 minutes are up. Interesting dram. I will finish this. Maybe I'll make a Manhattan. I will not. Tune in tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Friday? Longer stream tomorrow. 7 o'clock. I'll probably post it ready for this. With that said, as always, live long and prosper. Don't forget to be awesome. And I'll see you out there. Boop. Thank you for joining me on KillCo Whiskey Musings. You can find my social media and Patreon in the links below. Be sure to like, subscribe,